Hi, it is Monday, January 24th, and we are in day 24 of How Will You Bring, that hair, how will you bring more life to your 2022? So this is a wild day. It's a Monday. I had an amazing weekend. Thanks very much for my conversation with you guys from the bathroom. And oh my gosh, it's like 11:30 in the morning. I have meetings, I have classes, I have stuff, and I have us. So one of the great things about being snowbound and being in my house is I get to do these Facebook Lives in places in my home that I'm really happy. So I'm standing in front of a door that was just painted this October, last October. So it's just been a couple of months. It used to be sort of a brown door because that's the color of the door was 17 years ago when we moved in. And one of the ways that we have brought more life to our home is to paint it this color. Now, on the other side, it's a beautiful blue, but I'll have to do a Facebook Live in the spring sometime when I can stand in front of that door. But one of the things that I love about the idea of bringing more life is that it's not a huge thing. It's just a little thing. It's just a little tiny thing you can do in moments. So, okay, it took all day, like probably 2 days to paint this door. But here it is. So the but is that it just only took 2 days. No big deal. And now every time I walk past this door, I come down the stairs from the living room and I go down the stairs to my office. But every time I look at this door, I just feel more life in my heart. Now, I had lots of ideas about what I was going to talk about today. Like, we had such a good time with listening yesterday. And I have this idea, since I'm in the process of creating a communication course to launch in February. I'm really thinking about communicating and I'm really thinking about listening. And I realized that when I feel squeezed, I'm just saying, when I feel squeezed myself, I feel that feeling in my chest. What that means is that I'm racing through my life and I'm not letting the life in. Like, when there's more life in everything you're doing, you're breathing. Oh my goodness. So we talk about breathing a lot. I just want you to see on a regular basis how important breathing is. So, got my hair done, got my face done, because I'm going to be in a class at 12 o'clock and I'm going to be on a client call later on. So I have to make sure that all those things work. And for those of you who are working from home or raising kids or doing a number of things that allow you to get a whole lot of stuff done all in one day, you may find yourself in the same position I'm in right now, which is you're not breathing. So today's Facebook Live is short and sweet and in front of my green door. It's a reminder that on a Monday, when, everything starts, I don't know why that's true for us. It's like the clock starts on Monday and all of a sudden we jump in with both feet and off we go. And then on Friday, we're like, I can relax. I don't know why that's true, but we all do it. And I do it too. So on a Monday morning, when there's lots of stuff on your plate and you realize that your chest is not moving and that you feel a tightness, it kind of squeezes off the life to your brain. So I want to invite you to consider the fact that as much as we love to get a whole lot of stuff done, and as much as we are like totally overstimulated with all the stuff that's around us, like no humans on the face of the planet have ever been this pushed, this rushed, and this stressed. Never in the history of the planet. And so we're still created as, the people who lived generations and eons and centuries before us who didn't have to deal with this stuff. We still have just their equipment. We don't have anything new, like we haven't turned into the Borg yet. For those of you who are Star Trek fans, you haven't turned into a cyborg or a robot or AI. We haven't turned into that. We're just folks. We're just human. So today I want to invite you to consider the possibility that bringing more life to your everything involves breathing all the time. And because breathing is works two ways. So A, it's automatic. You cannot not breathe. However, you can breathe shallowly. You can do, like minimum viable breathing so that you don't pass out. You can do that. Or you can choose to breathe, and you can choose to use your whole body to breathe. So, of course, when I get on here, I think I know what I'm going to say, but I actually really don't know exactly what I'm going to say. It's sort of my engagement with you and my thinking about you that actually brings forth whatever it is that I'm going to say. So today apparently is a breathing conversation. So one of the things I used to do a long time ago when I first started my work, 1987. Where were you in 1987? Okay, some of you were like, don't even ask. And some of you were like, girl, I remember 1987. So one of the things I first did, one of the first trainings I ever did, because it actually saved my life, and you're watching it live. I'm rushing, we're going to do the Facebook Live, and I'm not breathing. So fortunately, I know better. And when I catch myself not breathing, I do this thing that I'm going to tell you about, because it still works. One of the things that happens is when you stop yourself and you let yourself breathe, your body will absolutely breathe in the most elegant, effortless, awesome way. That's what you're watching. You're watching my body take over, which is kind of a good thing, because most of us are running around 24/7 with our heads in charge and our bodies kind of cut off. We're like those chickens, only the head is still attached. So today's a breathing day. So here's what I used to talk about. And I still remember, I wrote a book called Pizza and the Art of Life Management in 1996. I did a program called Stress Arresters starting in 1987. And in fact, it was that program, Stress Arresters, that Chuck Beatty called me to do, and that's how I met the love of my life. So you never know what's going to happen when you're doing what you're called to do. Anyway, the heart of this is about breathing. So, breathing has two pieces. One is when you are doing minimum viable breathing and you're just not moving air in and out of your lungs, your body will make sure you get enough air so you don't pass out and you can work. And it's not optimal. So if you really want it to be optimal, you have to realize that a breath means it goes all the way down to your belly button. Now, most people can't do that, but let's just see if you want to practice with me. So first things first, you get a breath in, and let's see how much air you can blow out. Here we go. Now, the trick for this is the more air you breathe out, the more air you can breathe in. And so when you think about what happens to people when they're frustrated or they're fed up with things, they go, that's so you can get more air in your brain so it works better. Now, when you're scared, you go, and you stop breathing. And no air is moving in and out. So you have to do something for being scared. Remember, here's safe. So when you're scared, no air gets to your brain. No, game over. Now, you never knew that there was so many things you could do with your breath, did you? One of my favorite things to do is play with breathing. So if I'm giving you something fun today, I am thrilled. Especially on a Monday, breathing will serve you so well. So, number one, breathe out. Don't worry about breathing in. Breathe out, because the more air you breathe out of your lungs, the more air you can breathe in. Now, I used to call the dead air that was in your lungs from not breathing 1949 air. That was in the 20th century I said that, so I'm not sure what the reference would be now, but 1949 air is just a brand name, not a year. And when you don't breathe, your lung, it just gets stale. It's just, nothing works. So you want to breathe that air out. If you remember one thing and one thing only from this, breathe out. Because the more air you breathe out, the more fresh, clean 2022 with lots of life in it air you can breathe in. Now, don't do this in public because people will think you're nuts. Remember the bathroom? You could always go to the bathroom or a stall or someplace where nobody is and just let yourself breathe. It's too weird for most people. They don't know what you're doing. They're not doing it and they don't know why you are. And they want to make sure that you are not having a medical emergency. So I just want to warn you ahead of time. Now, if you want to train your family to do this, and if you want to do family breathing together, that is an amazing thing because you can just stop wherever you are and help each other breathe. And if you've got close friends who aren't afraid to be a little weird, you can help them breathe. And you can just look at each other and go, it's very fun. So those are my thoughts for today. On day 24, I am so thrilled to still be having this conversation with you. I am still thrilled to think that I still have something to say. And tomorrow or the next day, we'll go back to listening because there's some cool things that I want to share with you. And today we're just going to make it real and breathe. So number 1, breathe out. Little hit in, breathe out, because it will allow you to bring more air and more life into your body. Number 2, understand that most people don't breathe very well. Understand that this whole business of and all that people think is weird. So keep yourself safe. Don't embarrass yourself unless you want to be wild and be a renegade, and then just do it in public because you never know who you will inspire. And number 3, I invite you to take some space for yourself today. Just catch your breath. And by that, catch your own breath and allow yourself to bring more air and more life into your being today because it will keep you safe. It will help you to make whatever is happening good for you. And it will allow you to access your frontal cortex where you can think about what you need to do or where you need to be or anything else you want to think. Because your brain will be so full of life and so full of breath. I'm Maya Beatty, and I'll see you next time.